し生まれ変わったらその時はさ
Hello loves, welcome back to another video. Today we are reading a Karma Akabane X listener. This one is chapter 8 of Unexpected. This one is titled Love You Too. And without further ado, let's get into the video. After the warm shower you just took, you grabbed the white towel from the rack and began drying off. Your cute PJ set was already waiting for you. I'll have to thank Kaino for this later, you thought, drying your hair. After you got dressed, you hung up your towel and walked out, where you saw Kaino and Nagisa standing next to the showers. They must have just got out too, you inquired as you walked over to them. The redhead you were hoping was near sadly wasn't. But whatever, right? You don't like him anyways, he's just a player. He doesn't do relationships. You couldn't care less about him. At least, you wanted not to. But if this trip had taught you anything, it was to never underestimate Kaino, and that you saw Karma as more than a brotherly mate. He tickled your fancy just a little bit more, and you had accepted that. The only problem was, you knew he didn't feel the same. Where's Karma? You asked as you walked up to Nagisa and Kaino, who were seemingly waiting for you. Curious already, Nakamura stated with a sly grin. You flipped your head around and saw her walking with the boy you had just been asking about. Your eyes landed on him and he averted his gaze. I knew it. He probably hates me now. Well, it's his fault. I told him not to think about it too much. You rolled your eyes. You smiled and ran up to the two, wrapping an arm around their necks. Yeah, what's up? Karma unwrapped your arm from his neck and shot you a glare. Oh, Akabane, what's wrong? You pressed a finger into his face. For now, you thought it best to hide whatever you were feeling. Nakamura, Nagisa, and Kaino giggled. Hey, what's so funny? You turned to them, while hanging onto Karma's neck like a monkey. The cherry top groaned and tried to take you off him. Nakamura continued walking towards Nagisa and Kaino, while Karma started to try and yank you off. However, you would not budge. Why are you such a nuisance? He rolled his eyes, accepting that you would not get off. I love you too, you sung out. Karma again looked away and stopped walking. Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. What's wrong? You pressed your face near his. Nothing. He sighed out and again continued walking. Is he really that angry with me? Your change in demeanor was obvious and Nagisa was concerned, but he didn't say anything. Why in? Kaino asked as the five of you began walking back into the room. Yes. You moved your head on the other side of Karma to look at her. We need to talk about our agreement. She gave you an evil smile. You choked back a gulp and Karma eyed you. What? You asked with a bored expression. What agreement? Not wanting to make eye contact with him, heck, not wanting to answer his question at all, you waved your hand and turned your head the opposite of his. It's nothing. He narrowed his eyes, making you sweat drop. He was so nice when I first met him. Why is he being such a prick now? You mentally asked yourself. Why in? He pressed. I'm serious. Besides, why do you want to know so badly? I don't. He protested. You better not be keeping secrets from me. He then mumbled and turned his head the other way. Finally, you all found the room you had started at. You dropped down from Karma's back, leaving him rubbing his neck. You almost killed me. He angrily sat down. You sat down next to him as the group made room for your other friends to sit down. You then responded by merely sticking your tongue out at him and closing your eyes. You heard him grumble something after that, but couldn't quite hear as it was said under his breath. What was that? You leaned over with a grin plastered on your face. I said shut up. He spat in your face. You giggled and leaned back into your personal bubble, which wasn't that big to begin with. The game began again with many funny, hot, and weird truths and dares. You noticed Okuda's name hadn't been called yet, and you looked over at her. For some reason, you felt bad and you hated yourself for it. You raised your hand and picked up the bottle. You turned the bottle towards Okuda and asked, Truth or dare? Why in? That's not how the game works, Nakamura groaned. Well, Okuda hasn't went yet, and we just kept getting the same people over and over again. You whined. Okay, fine. She accepted your role, even though you were the one who originally started this game in the first place. You rolled your eyes and again asked, Truth or dare? Okuda's hands shook nervously as she thought about her options. I guess truth? Oh, that's no fun. You pouted. Why in? Just ask her a damn question. Nakamura smacked your head. Fine, fine. You huffed, and that hurt. You'll get over it. She crossed her arms. You felt a nudge on your arm and looked to see Karma. After your eyes grazed over him for a couple of seconds, your sympathy then turned into hatred, and you remembered the things she said to you. You remembered how fake she really was. I know what to ask this witch. Your face contorted as you opened your mouth to speak. Okuda's face gave off a worrisome vibe, but you couldn't care less. You were feeling just a little bit petty tonight. Is it true you like Karma? You asked, tilting your head to the side. Though from the outside looking in, it might have seemed like a normal question asked among friends. However, your facade was threatening to break loose at every crack you left open. You had your bitch face on, and it looked like you were eating her soul with your eyes. What? You nodded your head along with her words. You what? You felt Karma slither his arm around you after that, but your grin just grew wider at his touch. You leaned in, which he didn't expect, making him look all flustered. Everyone's eyes were either shocked or out of their sockets. You crossed your arms while leaning back into Karma's chest as he hoisted you both up by leaning his back on a dresser, which somehow was comfortable. Narrowing your eyes and keeping your smirk, you again asked, well, is it true? She looked like she was about to throw up, and you felt butterflies at the thought of it. Karma had really rubbed off on you, but was that such a bad thing? Why, Ian, you can't just ask people that, Kurahashi stated. You do, don't you? You ignored the energetic girl and continued speaking to your rival. Okuda looked away, and Kaino took this as an opportunity to call on her favor. Why, Ian, I won the bet, yes? She asked. Everyone directed their attention to her, including you and Karma. You raised an eyebrow and nodded. Kaino tapped her chin while looking to the ceiling. Well then, I want to call in my favor. She looked towards you with the malice in her eyes. Remember you said you had to do whatever I wanted? She smirked. Yeah, whatever. You rolled her eyes, already bored with her constant cliffhangers. I want you to confess to the person you like. She looked proud at her demand, and you looked flabbergasted. Kaino, no. You said it was your favorite. You sat upright, disappointing Karma a little. By now, everyone pretty much whipped out the teacups and scones, and were just silently listening on the other side of the room, all huddles of 3 and 4, like they were watching a movie. Yes, I am well aware, and this is my favor, she explained. Your face was now a deep red. Just do it. She rolled her eyes and leaned over to whisper something in Nagisa's ear. His eyes went wide, and you knew exactly what she said. Kaino, you didn't. She smirked, and you eyed Nagisa. He nodded his head behind you, and you followed it. Your eyes met those of Mercury. The beautiful sun they represented was not even a joke, because whenever your eyes met them, you'd get all fuzzy inside, and the air around you seemed to get warmer. You get butterflies in your stomach, but not like the ones with Okuda. That was out of revenge. This was out of a fairy tale. Karma, you breathed. He smiled, and you knew this wasn't just some feeble attraction, though with everyone watching you, it was quite awkward, and you didn't like that. I need to talk to you privately. He nodded and asked you out the room, leaving many astonished faces, minus one angry one. He pulled you out to the beach area where the beach chairs were. However, you ignored the perfectly good chairs and decided to sit in the sand. The wind blew through Karma's hair, and it made yours tussle up. You'd always been jealous of how perfect he could be, even without trying. So, what is it you needed to say? He asked. You already know. You closed your eyes, crossed your arms, and turned away. He sighed. Has anyone ever told you how much of a tsundere you can be? You were about to say something back when you felt him tug you into a hug. Your eyes widened, but after a few seconds you leaned back into his touch, like you had before, and watched the moon. It was calm and sound. Ever since the day I helped you up, I knew fate had brought us together, he said. You blushed immensely at this, but thanked fate, because you knew it was true. Hey, you know something? You asked. He pulled you into his lap and looked down at you. You smiled softly and nuzzled into his warm chest. The moon is asleep right now. We're all alone. Oh yeah? Yeah. He smiled and kissed your forehead. I love you too. Okay, so I'm gonna read the bottom. We finished Babes. I really love this series. Probably gonna go back and listen to it all again on YouTube. Okay, bye. Okay, so that is the end of the fan fiction and the series. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go edit this now. Yeah. Bye, loves.